went to the register, and I mean, he was absolutely livid. He felt like it was an injustice, that he was being mistreated.
About how old were these kids at this point?
I think she was about 5 or 6, and maybe he was about 8.
All right, guys, Brian Smith here. Today we are filming a very special episode of the Entrepreneur Blueprint, and we have the most special guest joining us today. We have Miss Carolyn Sue Smith joining us. Welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, and you?
Doing very well. So, for those that do not know, how do we know each other?
You are my son.
Wow.
My first child, born May 31st, 1978.
Okay. Whew. Yeah. What was that year? 1988?
1978.
My goodness. Gustavo, we don't have to edit that one out. But anyway.
Keep it in mind, if you think 1978 I was born in 1952.
52.
Your dad was born in 1949. Does that sound ancient to you?
Wow. Well, most of us don't do math like that anymore, but that's amazing. Thank you for being here today.
I'm happy to be here.
So, Mom, what we are doing today, we're launching a podcast called Entrepreneur Blueprint, and what I want to talk about today is business, the early beginnings. So it is my understanding that as a young person, Brian and my younger brother, we started a business when we were very young, and you helped us start that business.
That's correct. And what I had noticed, that even children, 5, 6, that when you go in a store, even before you get to a store, Walmart's or whatever, they have things that they want. And those things they cost money. And so one day it just kind of came to me, and probably wasn't my thoughts, that although you were 15 and your brother was 12 or whatever, that you weren't old enough to work in the public. You had to be 16. But there were still things that you and your brother were very good at, and it was, to me, no reason why you shouldn't do some of those things to make some of your own money. And that way, when we went in a store, shopping or whatever, that you use your own money. And so we started a business, and we had flyers, and the business, you and your brother knew how to iron your clothes back in those days. You know, the boys liked their jeans ironed, so you all knew how to iron. You knew how to cut yards, because you had to cut your yard at home, and you knew how to wash your car and clean it out inside and out, because you all did that. So we talked about it, and we set it up. And I sponsored you all with the supplies for the first round, the starch, the car cleaning agents, and we took them around the subdivision, and you start getting business. And you all would wash people's cars, cut their yards, iron, and put the money in a money box. And I didn't require a salary, because, you know, I was your mom. And so that's how we got started with that. And you was the president of the company.
Oh, wow.
And your brother was the vice president, and I was the manager. And there were a few times you didn't like things that I said, and even had said a couple of times, I don't know if we're going to keep you as the manager.
Yeah. I don't remember that
was
part.
Stunned.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
At 15? So, okay, wait. Slow down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember this very fondly. And I think what may have started it, they came out with like some Air Jordan tennis shoes back then, and we had to have these shoes. Mm-hmm. And you didn't want to buy us these Air Jordan shoes, and then it turned into us cutting grass and washing cars and all that.
Well, the way I looked at it, you and your brother had hands. They may not have been as big as my hands, but they were still hands that was capable of producing an end result.
Love that. Love that. Those are some fun memories because we were working, and the way I kind of remember it, at the end of that summer, after we had earned some money, I didn't really want to buy those Air Jordans anymore.
Absolutely.
I wanted some Nikes, but I didn't want those $150 Air Jordans after I had worked all summer.
Well, it would have used up most of your money.
There you go. I think those are wonderful, wonderful memories, and those planted some seeds that have sprouted today.
I think so too. That I think it's a really an injustice for children not to have chores or something that they can do that they're not doing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. So before we go further, I just want to thank God publicly for you being here today and for us being here. I mean, I'm extremely grateful for, all the opportunities we've been blessed with as a family, and just you as our mom. And I'm extremely grateful for
And
you.
I am too, for you and your brother and what God has done and is doing with the two of you. That I'm extremely grateful.
All right. So now you're a grandmother.
Yes,
You're a grandmother. So how many grandchildren you have?
3.
3
I
grandchildren.
call them grand cuties.
Grand cuties.
Yeah, they're just cuteness off the scales.
Okay. Grand cuties. Now, since this is a business podcast, there was something that you did that I thought was really cool with your grandchildren, and I wanted to talk about it. So your grandchildren were just learning how to count, and you set up in the family room a little convenience store for them to buy things. Talk to us about this.
Well, it sparked from one day I was in Walmart with 2 of them, your children, and you had given them $15 each, and of course they went straight to the toy section, and one of them got 2 things, but they added up to $14 or something. One of them went and got 1 thing that was $30. And so when we were standing on the aisle, I tried to explain to my little grandson that you don't have enough money to pay for that. And his response was, but she has 2 things. I said, I know, but her 2 things don't equal even $15. Well, he was livid, and we went to the register, and he was absolutely livid. He felt like it was an injustice, that he was being mistreated.
About how old were these kids at this point?
I think she was about 5 or 6, and maybe he was about 8.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
And one thing she said when we were on the aisle and she was picking her toys, and I, reinforced how much money she had, and she picked these 2 dolls, and they were very plain, just the dolls. And when she picked them and she looked at them, she said something that was kind of funny. And she said, well, I'll get these, but they don't have any accessories. She used that like purses and extra shoes. And I said, you don't have enough money to get accessories. They go, so she got them. So anyway, my grandson had to put his $30 toy back, which enraged him even further. So when we paid for everything, he was still angry, and it really bothered me that he felt like he was being mistreated. So after that, I don't know, it just came in my mind that we would like play with real money. And so I asked you and Rhonda if it was okay to do it. And so I would go in Walmart, the dollar store, and I would get things that I knew that they would like. And I got garage sale stickers, and we only dealt in quarters and dollars to keep it simple.
Okay.
And I put prices on the things. It would either be 25 cents, 25 cents, or $1. And I would set them up around the den. And I had a big calculator, and I got them little baskets so they would shop. So they would go around, and you would give them $3 each.
Right, in quarters. So each child would start with $3 in quarters.
Quarters and maybe $1.
Oh, and a solid dollar.
$1.
Okay.
So, and they would get that for chores that they did at home. So they would walk around the room and put things in their basket, supposedly looking at the tags, how much and initially they didn't do that. They would just pile up them and bring them over to me, the cash register, and I would add them up. And I would say, you've got $6 worth of thing. How much money do you have? And they would take it out, and we would work on counting it. And as time went on, they stopped doing that. They would stay within the amount that they had.
Wow.
And if they gave me something that was just $2, and they would just give me all of this, no, give me what your merchandise costs. So we did that, and we played, and it was fun, and they enjoyed it. And as time went on, your son was learning to count money.
Wow.
That he would give me the exact amount, or if he gave me, he knew how much he was supposed to get back.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, fond memories. To me, that's what life is all about. Us as a family, the journey, the kids growing, the role you play. So were you a teacher in your career, or what because you seem to have a lot of gifts in that area?
No, I think all parents are teachers. I worked, my career was a registered nurse, and I worked in the Texas Medical Center for many, many years, and then I went into the insurance side of nursing, a desk job. You still had to be an RN, but it was a desk job, talking to people. So no, I wasn't a teacher, but parents are teachers.
Amen. Amen. Well, above all, I thank you for the way you raised us, taking us to church, all that you have done and sacrificed for us over the years. I just sincerely thank God for you, and thank you for coming on here.
Well, I made a lot of mistakes, so I don't want to sit up here and whoever look at this podcast think I was just this perfect mother, and I made a lot of mistakes, and we're not parents in another life. We're doing this for the first time.
Yeah. And one of the things that I would encourage anyone out there listening is for us to extend grace to each other. And what I mean by that is we're all human. We all make mistakes, and I think there's an opportunity for us to all be graceful with each other as we
and to allow your children to speak up respectfully, like when we had the little company and you were the president, your brother the vice president, I was the man. It was a couple of times that you said, I really don't like how you're doing this, and you verbalized what you didn't like, and then one time even said, well, maybe we need another manager.
Now, I don't remember that.
Oh, I do.
I don't remember
I was actually stunned.
I don't remember that at all. But that's just...
Well, I think it is important for children not to be treated as little rote, R-O-T-E, rote robots that do this, do this, do this. And then you do this, and this that allow them a voice and choices.
Yeah, and I think that communication is the key. So even in that scenario, we're having a conversation. We maybe have a different perspective on things, and it's okay to but I think the communication is key.
Yeah, and not allow your children to just become so frustrated and irate that, that give them the freedom to ask questions and to disagree respectfully.
There you go. There you go. Well, guys, we're going to wrap up this episode of the Entrepreneur Blueprint. You can catch us on all the podcast platforms, whether it's Apple, Spotify, you name it. We're going to be coming back with more episodes, fun content with some of your local professionals. And that'll be a wrap. See you guys next time.